Thank you, Madam Chairperson, Prof. Madia Dr. Ezra, for the introduction. Now, I'm going to continue our webinar with the topic given, Becoming an IBCLC and Beyond. As it has been introduced earlier, Malaysian Lactation Consultants Association is formed by a group of IBCLCs in Malaysia for Malaysians. Let's get to know more about IBCLC. I'm sure many of you here, if not all, have heard the 5 letters IBCLC, which stands for International Board Certified Lactation Consultant. For those who have not heard about it, International Board Certified Lactation Consultants, IBCLC, are important members of the maternal child health team specializing in breastfeeding care. An IBCLC is certified by exam. Prior to sit for the exam, a candidate must send a proof of her skill and education in lactation field, stipulated by the International Board of Lactation Consultant Examiner, IBLCE. In Malaysia, IBCLCs have diverse backgrounds and work in variety settings, but all of us have met rigorous eligibility requirements and passed an examination that assessed knowledge in breastfeeding management. We work together with families, policymakers, and the community to provide expert breastfeeding and lactation care and advance global public health. Throughout the world, there are over 37,000 of IBCLCs. Back in 2008, when I first became an IBCLC, there were less than 10 IBCLCs in our country. Today, as it has been recorded in the current statistics, Malaysia has 50 IBCLCs. Is that enough? Probably not. We need more IBCLCs to improve training programs emphasizing the value and importance of breast milk and maternal child health, addressing disparities, and increasing data collection on breastfeeding to be able to advocate for policy changes. So, are you interested to become one? Before you jump on the bandwagon, let's have a deeper look on what you may need to consider before you start becoming an IBCLC. First and foremost is the educational requirement. You need to complete health science education and lactation-specific education. There are 14 subjects of health science education and 95 hours of lactation-specific education that need to be completed prior to your application to sit for the exam. The next thing to consider as a preparation to sit for the exam, you must also have enough time for clinical practice. There are 3 pathways to complete your clinical practices, which are 1. Providing breastfeeding and lactation care or education in recognized health professionals or recognized breastfeeding support counselors setting. 2. Complete a comprehensive accredited academic program in human lactation and breastfeeding. Or option number 3 is mentorship with an IBCLC. After you have provided all the evidence of your education and clinical practices, you can next register for the exam. If you have done well in preparing the educational requirement and clinical practices, the chance to pass the exam is very high. However, it is good to form a study group with other potential candidates. Once you have passed the exam, for the first time, you will be awarded the certificate and you can now use the 5 letters IBCLC behind your name. However, this credential will only last for 5 years. You will need to recertify every 5 years. This will ensure that your knowledge and skill is always up to date. The last thing that I suggest that you consider is to think about where you can make the most impact after all the investment that you have made so far. Many of us are practicing in our current setting and valued as an IBCLC as the additional expertise one has. You may want to talk to any of us, the existing IBCLCs, to see what works best for you. All the information that I have mentioned earlier can be found in these three main sites. So the first one, you may begin with the IBLCE website, which is www.iblce.org. Here, you can get started. From this website, it will lead you to the other link, which is the IBCLC Commission. In this site, it will describe all the requirements and certification and how to maintain the credential. And another important information that you may want to explore is scholarship. Please go to MILCC website and get to know what are the options out there that you may want to consider if you decide to be an IBCLC. I must remind you to become one. It is a huge investment and you may need help. So, MILCC provides this opportunity. So, let's recap what we have discussed so far. So, number one, as you begin your journey, you may want to start with reading the candidate information guide. Second, you need to complete the education and clinical practice requirement. Third, sit for the exam. Every year, the exam is offered twice. You can choose to sit either in April or September. Be aware of the application window. Fourth, after you have passed the exam, you may want to consider joining relevant association like us, Malaysian Lactation Consultant Association, (MALCA), or ILCA, International Lactation Consultant Association, or Academy of Breastfeeding Medicine, ABM. These organizations usually offer continuous education that you can use as evidence for your next recertification purpose. Finally, practice and maintain your credential. You will need to review the Code of Professional Conduct to make sure that you practice ethically in this field. Remember, again, to recertify every 5 years. In this opportunity, I would like to highlight why Malka is here for you when you have decided to become an IBCLC. Although we are still very young, as mentioned by Prof. Dara, we aim to be your focal point. We want to be the platform where you can meet and collaborate with other IBCLCs. Imagine in next 10 years, the numbers of IBCLCs may increase and we need a solid platform to be your voice. Your ideas and concerns can be channeled through the association and delivered to the right implementers at national level. Malka also aims to be your education resource center. Stay tuned for more upcoming programs and events in the future. We also hope to grow the profession together with you to improve the skilled lactation care in our country. Together, we can be the platform to promote, protect, and support breastfeeding and advocate for a better policies in the future. Please reach out to us through all these platforms. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram, read and get to know more about us from our main website, malka.org.my, or you can also reach us through our email at malka.officer@gmail.com. Thank you for your attention to this talk. I hope you had gained some information about IBCLC and would consider to become one. Thank you again. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi